Welcome again to the 1.5 Degrees Show, a platform that shares anything and everything that has to do with climate change, and we touch on many facets of climate change. And interestingly, today we are talking about workers and climate change. To help us unpack this issue, we've got Fiona Gandiwa Magaya, who's from the ZCTU. Maybe let me leave this opportunity to Fiona to introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, Sebastian. I'm Fiona Gandiwa Magaya. I'm the gender specialist and the head of education, training and legal department of the ZCTU.
Yeah, so what does the ZCTU do? Maybe for someone who's watching at home, they are not sure. There is just a term that is being abbreviated. What is ZCTU?
ZCTU is a trade union federation formed by workers, and it represents 34 industrial sectors in Zimbabwe. It has 34 affiliate unions in different industrial sectors. The role of the ZCTU is to defend and protect workers' rights and interests. So in each and every situation or bargaining in Zimbabwe, the ZCTU is there to look out for the workers.
For the workers, yes.
And our key agenda is to achieve decent work.
Maybe you can help me. Maybe there's someone out there watching who's just like me. Where are workers coming into this whole climate change discussion? Because this platform is a climate change platform. Is there any relationship between workers and climate change? And if it is there, can you briefly explain to us where that relationship is at?
Well, Sebastian, previously we all thought that climate change was something very political. But the reality is climate change is very related to workers, because whenever there is climate change disasters, it's workers that are affected. In terms of even us as citizens within the communities as well as at the workplace, we also are affected. Our jobs are being affected. Certain jobs are being eliminated, and new jobs are coming into play. And what happens to those workers that don't have the requisite skills to venture into the new job environment? And also our rights. The workers' rights are also trampled upon as we face this issue of climate change. So which is the reason why we need to also take active part in ensuring there's a just transition.
Now you are bringing in a very, what can I say, a very complex or tricky situation now, where you're saying workers, they are the ones that are mostly affected. They tend to lose their jobs, maybe when you're talking about now the transition part of it coming in. So maybe you could tell me why, as a worker, I should be interested in this conversation. How do you think it affects me, or why do you think I should be leading these conversations or taking part in these processes?
As a worker, Sebastian, it's very important to take an active part, because when we're talking of just transition, we are also talking of the future of you and your family. We are also talking about your health. The kind of climate disasters that happen at the workplace. Even if we talk about pollution, who is the first person to be affected? The person that is working within that environment when toxic waste is produced is the first person that is going to be affected. So it continuously speaks to you, your family, and your future. So you have to take part. All right. Now,
let me get deeper with this conversation. You were mentioning about your role, about gender. You are the gender. You said you are the gender specialist. How is gender coming in now? Because I was thinking, okay, we are all workers. Why is there need to have a gender aspect to it? Where is it specifically fitting in within the climate change discourse?
That's a very good question, Sebastian. When we talk about gender, in actual fact, there are groups of people that have already been marginalized. If we look at our social cultural situation, our culture in Zimbabwe has been patriarchal right through. It has been protecting and valuing the needs and perspectives of men as opposed to women, as opposed to young people or children. And you find that people with disabilities have also been treated as outcasts or a taboo by our own culture. Let alone today, even the legislative reforms that we have in Zimbabwe, they are not adequately taking care of those marginalized persons. So you find that these marginalized groups, there are already inequalities. They are already behind. And when such things like climate disasters occur, they even impact more negatively on the already marginalized communities. If I give you an example of the COVID-19 pandemic, if you were struggling to get a mask onto your face, if you were struggling to help yourself or to breathe in COVID-19, what is the situation that the person with disability was going through? A person that probably can't even walk to get a mask, a person that can't even talk or tell somebody that they need help or they can't breathe. How were they helping themselves?
Yeah, you are bringing in a component that maybe we have overlooked as a nation or we have overlooked as a people. But now, taking you back to your introduction where you said you are there to protect the workers, I want to understand, as a labor union, do you have a gender policy framework in Zimbabwe?
Yes, we have a gender policy as ZCTU, but there is also a gender policy, a national gender policy in Zimbabwe. The gender policy of Zimbabwe is normally reviewed after every 5 years. So we do have a national gender policy. And it is very critical for us as organizations to champion the full implementation of that gender policy so that we continue to close up the inequality gaps that are created. Sometimes we may have very good policies and legislations as a country, but the implementation part is our major challenge.
But there you are hearing it, the implementation part is a challenge. So maybe as we are rounding up our show, maybe you could clarify an issue in closing, Fiona, because when we first met, we met at a workshop that was organized by Solidar and the Palmer Center. And there were a lot of countries that were brought into that space. So I want to see, or I want to find your position as Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions. What collaborations are you doing in the regional sector? Or what potential collaborations do you think are there within the SADC region? Do you have new models that you have learned from other countries, or do you have models that you are sharing with other countries that then protect the workers?
Yes, we are sharing models with other countries, but we are also learning quite a lot. In fact, our model for ZCTU has been to create safe spaces for the marginalized groups to work and so that we can empower them. So we've got safe spaces and structures for women, for people with disabilities, and for young people. But we have also learned quite a lot from countries like Namibia and South Africa. So we have also learned that even the young people, they can actively be involved in issues like climate justice and actively be part and parcel of the negotiating council or social dialogue council for South Africa, which is something that we are lacking in Zimbabwe. How many people sit even at the tripartite negotiating forum that are young? True. Yeah. That's what we've also learned.
So there you have it. It's been quite a mouthful. I think we have a lot of information that we received from Fiona there. Unfortunately, time is never on our side, and as it was getting more interesting, time there to run away from us. So there you have it, guys. Be sure to follow us. Be sure to tune in to the next episode. Maybe we'll then cascade these conversations to another level. So thank you for joining us. Till we meet again on the 1.5 Degrees show. It's bye for now.